Newsrooms in Eugene, Roseburg, and Coos Bay. KVAL News at 11 starts now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Alexis Thrower filling in for Perry Durrani. 2 Buffalo police officers have been suspended without pay after they were seen on video pushing an older protester. We want to warn you, some of you may find the video you are about to see graphic. As police enforce the 8 p.m. curfew, a 75-year-old man approaches them. At least one officer appears to push the man, causing him to stumble, fall, and hit his head. The Erie County executive says the man has a serious head injury and is in stable condition at the hospital. Originally, Buffalo police said the man tripped and fell, but once the additional video was seen, the commissioner opened an immediate investigation. Both officers were charged today with felony assault. They pleaded not guilty and were released on personal recognizance. Tens of thousands of people are rallying around the U.S. for a second consecutive weekend following the death of George Floyd at the hands of police. His death has shined a light on police brutality cases in America. CNN's Polo Sandoval has a look at some of those incidents. We need to warn you that some viewers could also find video in this report disturbing.
The end to an emotional and difficult week across the country, marked by an 11th consecutive night of demonstrations in cities large and small. The call for justice expanded on Friday to include incidents of suspected police brutality from Buffalo, New York to Washington State, where video emerged of a March incident. Manuel Ellis died after being physically restrained by Tacoma police. His attorney says Ellis can be heard yelling, "I can't breathe," on Tacoma police dispatcher audio from the night of his encounter with police and death on March the 3rd. This response from Washington Governor Jay Inslee. Today, I committed to Tacoma Mayor Victoria Woodard that the state of Washington will conduct an independent review of the investigation and any charging decisions related to the death of Manuel Ellis. Ellis's family calling for the firing of the officers involved. It's the same demand being made by activists in Atlanta, where video shot on May 29th appears to show an officer body slam a young woman, breaking her collarbone.
I removed the barricade, and I get back in the car, and all of a sudden, I just see hands out my window trying to snatches me out, and pretty much slams me down. We weren't a part of any of the looting or anything. We were peacefully protesting, and once that wasn't there, we pretty much, was headed home.
The officer involved in that incident has been placed on administrative assignment while Atlanta PD conducts an investigation. The Minneapolis City Council on Friday, pending the final okay from a judge, approved an agreement barring police from using neck restraints and chokeholds. 4 former police officers charged in George Floyd's killing are in jail. A large crowd of protesters headed for Lafayette Park in Washington, D.C. last night. The words "Black Lives Matter" now emblazoned in yellow paint. This message on a street leading straight to the White House. Curfews were lifted or allowed to expire in many cities, but in New York, that restriction remains in place through the weekend.
The curfews are designed to let the police be in a position where they can stop the looting. And that has been a serious problem in many cities.
With demonstrations likely to carry on through the weekend, Manhattan's district attorney vowing to not prosecute protesters arrested for so-called lesser offenses, including unlawful assembly or disorderly conduct. The policy won't apply to suspected vandals or looters.
Here at home, hundreds continued protests for the 8th day in a row tonight, this time in Springfield. Starting at Springfield City Hall, protesters soon grew in size, marching towards the Springfield Police Station. They there stopped, calling on police surrounding the building to take a knee in solidarity. After multiple pleas, police went back inside. The main goal of the protest is a push for Springfield police to get body cameras.
Black Lives Matter. We need to see evidence if there is any injury, if there is any, complication going on when someone gets pulled over or when police come to the scene. That body cam footage is everything.
Tonight's protest lasted around 2 hours. The Springfield City Council will vote on the longtime issue of body cameras for officers at Monday's meeting. Mayor Lundberg has come out in favor of the issue. Reddit's co-founder says the best example he can set for other leaders is to quit. Alexis is resigning his seat on the Internet Forum's board of directors and asking the company to fill it with a black person. Take a look.
15 years ago, I co-founded Reddit as a place for people to find community and a sense of belonging. It is long overdue to do the right thing. I'm doing this for me, for my family, and for my country. I'm saying this as a father who needs to be able to answer his black daughter when she asks, "What did you do?" So, I have resigned as a member of the Reddit board. I have urged them to fill my seat with a black candidate, and I will use future gains on my Reddit stock to serve the black community, chiefly to curb racial hate. And I'm starting with a pledge of $1 million to Colin Kaepernick's Know Your Rights camp. I believe resignation can actually be an act of leadership from people in power right now, and to everyone fighting to fix our broken nation, do not stop.
Ohanian is married to tennis champion Serena Williams. Reddit said it would honor his request to fill his seat on the company's 5-person board with a diverse choice. The company CEO admitted the company has work to do. Reddit has come under fire in the past for allowing racist and hate speech on some of its forums. A special moment captured on video, a 5-year-old girl being comforted by a Houston police officer during a protest this week. Her family opens up about the moment and has a message for the officer. Roxy Bustamante has the story.
In a sea of more than 60,000 people, these two lives crossed paths.
We're not here to hurt you at all. Okay?
She asked me, why did you have on this outfit? Are you going to shoot us?
Simeon Barty says they made the decision to go together as a family to walk in Tuesday's march honoring Houston native George Floyd.
We have a history of police brutality in my family too. So, we were just going out there just to raise awareness. And I wanted to teach at a young age to have a voice.
Says they were towards the end of the march. His 5-year-old daughter, Simone, started getting emotional. And that's when she approached one of the Houston officers standing in a line and asked, "Are you going to shoot at us?" He says the officer then got down on one knee, wrapped his arm around Simone.
We're here to protect you, okay? We're not here to hurt you at all, okay? You can protest, you can march, you can do whatever you want.
I really wish that I would have caught the very beginning of it, because that's when he spoke about him having a daughter himself and wanted to make it home to his daughter. You can tell that everything came from a very genuine place.
This video now has nearly 3 million views. They say it was a moment of compassion and empathy that touched their hearts and countless others.
So I think that's where it's going to start, us being compassionate on both sides. And right now, I think the world is relearning equality. And I think that that's a beautiful, this moment here and the moment that we captured on that video is a beautiful start.
And now they have just one more message for the Houston police officer.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me a different perspective.
Roxy Bustamante, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft is pledging $1 million to promote social justice. Yesterday, a social media post said the Kraft family will donate $100,000 a month over the next 10 months. They want to support local grassroots groups that are fighting for equity, working to end systemic racism, and creating meaningful change. The organizations are being chosen in collaboration with the Patriots players. The Kraft organization says its eyes, ears, and hearts are open to listen and learn. Moving on to weather now. Here's a live look outside from our tower cam. So, Miss Heather with the weather, what can you tell us about what's going on with this beautiful weather right now?
Well, we're experiencing a major temperature swing. Hopefully you're keeping warm. I mean, yeah, it's a little chilly outside. We are having below average conditions for this weekend and plenty of rain, as you probably experienced today. Also, really gusty winds, but right now we experience a temperature change of 3 degrees here in Lane County, 8 in Roseburg. But today, daytime highs are in the upper 50s for Eugene and Coos Bay. Roseburg managed to have 60-degree weather. Right now we are cooling down as that sun has set, and wind speeds are also kind of simmering down. We won't really experience double-digit wind gusts until tomorrow evening. So far today, though, it was windy and wet. We managed to pick up 1/4 inch of rain for most counties like North Bend, Eugene, Eugene and Roseburg. Rain will continue and will make an appearance for tomorrow morning. Temperatures, though, will be in the 40s. As we wake up, we'll have more rainfall through the week, and I'll let you know how that'll turn out in my full weather forecast. Alexis?
Thank you so much, Heather. And when we're back on KVAL News, local health experts track a possible spike in STIs in Lane County as a result of COVID-related conditions. Plus, Delta is suspending its flights in some cities. Find out if this could affect your travel plans.
This is KVAL News at 11.
Welcome back. Health officials say current conditions may create the perfect storm for already high STI rates to boom in the coming months. Although there isn't data to support a spike right now, the concern is valid. The combination between a lack of resources and months of sheltering in place may contribute to a possible spike in sexually transmitted diseases in Lane County. Between a lack of resources due to providers being closed and stay-at-home orders keeping people at home, an increase in cases could be on the horizon.
It's hard to say that there's going to be a real direct relationship between COVID-19 and STDs, but we certainly are concerned that individuals have not been having an opportunity to go in for testing and treatment.
Before the outbreak, Lane County had high rates of syphilis and other STIs. In 2018, Lane County already saw some of the highest STI rates on record. The number of syphilis cases were double the previous year, igniting a spike that lasted much of 2019 as well. As more providers start to reopen, more information will become available. Brazil's COVID-19 death toll has now surpassed Italy's as the country registered a record 1,473 new coronavirus-related deaths in the last 24 hours. Its health ministry reported Thursday that the current death toll stands at around 34,000, the third highest death toll worldwide, behind the United Kingdom and the United States. That's according to a Johns Hopkins University tally. Nearly 24,000 new coronavirus cases were reported over the past 24 hours, bringing its nationwide total to nearly 615,000, the second in the world behind the U.S. A health official acknowledged Thursday that the country is facing difficulties in measuring the extent of coronavirus contagion due to underreporting and limited testing. Delta Airlines is suspending service to and from 11 airports. The list, announced yesterday, includes Aspen, Colorado, Erie, Pennsylvania, and Lincoln, Nebraska. The others are similar-sized cities. Delta says the cut cities make up about 5% of the domestic airports it serves. It also says all of them will continue to be served by at least one other airline. Delta is one of the airlines the government helped bail out to battle the impact of the coronavirus pandemic. One condition of accepting that bailout money is no workers are allowed to be laid off until October 1st.
And we're in for a ride for tomorrow. Sunshine, rain, and chances of thunderstorms. I'll let you know how this week's shaping out after the break.
This is KVAL News at 11.
The pandemic has changed many things to a virtual setting or over the phone. One of those things is purchasing special forest product permits. The Willamette National Forest is selling them over the phone and through the mail right now. They include firewood and mushroom permits, both for commercial and residential use, and available at the Detroit, Sweet Home, McKenzie River, and Middle Fork district offices. But permits are not available at the Springfield Interagency office at this time.
Any individual could go out to their national forest and collect any edible mushrooms that are not matsutake mushrooms, up to 1 gallon for free and up to 2 gallons with a permit. I recommend just going up to 1 gallon so you don't have to get a permit due to our current limited permitting.
The Willamette National Forest officials say to make sure you contact the district office to confirm permit availability, as it can vary depending on the district. Landfall is expected sometime tomorrow afternoon in Louisiana for Tropical Storm Cristobal. The National Weather Service's hurricane hunters flew into the storm today to better gauge its strength. They measured Cristobal having sustained winds of 50 miles per hour. It is expected to continue to strengthen as it continues its track north through the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico. Several models say Cristobal is expected to make landfall somewhere between Marsh Island and Slidell. Louisiana's Terrebonne Parish has ordered a mandatory evacuation of all residents and businesses in the zone adjacent to the levee system. Storm surge is expected to be between 4 and 6 feet along the coastal areas of the parish. Beyond high winds and flooding, forecasters warn that storms like Cristobal can produce multiple tornadoes. The National Weather Service says coastal areas in Mississippi, Alabama, and the Florida Panhandle could also be at risk.
And now, weather with Heather Melendez.
Hopefully you are enjoying conditions indoors. We had plenty of cooler conditions for today and rainfall. It was very gusty. We managed to top off at 58 for Eugene and Coos Bay. Roseburg slightly warmer in the 60s, but this weekend was quite the weather swing. We experienced plenty of sunshine, temperatures in the 60s and 70s this past week, but for today and tomorrow, 50 and 60s all around. And we even have chances of some thunderstorms. We have just enough ingredients for strong gusty winds. We had some warmer highs this week with sunshine and instability, but looking ahead for tomorrow, those chances will decrease. Right now, though, outside, those out in Coos County, there are some thunderstorms moving on in. So if you hear a thunderclap, definitely be indoors. Do not risk it. Now, today we managed to pick up plenty of rainfall, at least 1/4 of an inch in Eugene, Roseburg, and North Bend. Rain will continue on for tomorrow, and here's why. That next weather maker is still here in Western Oregon, that jet stream really separating us from that warmer air and drier conditions. So for today and tomorrow, we'll have rainfall, and once we start to head into our Monday, cooler conditions will move on eastward. We'll have plenty of cloud coverage for our Monday morning. Showers will make an appearance yet again for the evening, but that next weather maker out in the Pacific moving on inland will bring chances of rain, possible light showers for Tuesday, and conditions will let out throughout the week. But for the short term, we have hit or miss showers for this evening into tomorrow morning. Again, 6:30 a.m. we'll have some gaps of sunshine, but once we move into the afternoon and evening, we'll have the same story as today, more hit or miss showers for the day. Those in the higher elevated areas in the Cascades will have a chance to experience a snow flurry or two. But looking at a rain accumulation, when all is said and done, Sunday evening we'll pick up another 1/10 of an inch for those out in the coast, 1/100 of an inch for the valleys, and by Sunday evening we can expect at least almost 1/2 an inch in Lane County. Roseburg picking up another 1/4 of an inch, and even those out in the coast. Again, tomorrow will be wet and also gusty. Waking up, it will be pretty much mild. It's not until the late evening they'll pick up again, experiencing double-digit wind gusts in the teens, and then again once late evening, things will set and simmer down. Tonight is a cold night, lows in the 40s. Temperatures will manage to warm back up into the 50s for our Sunday. Another chance of thunderstorm. Monday, light showers. And Tuesday is a great day to really pull out those plants. Those out in the coast, very consistent. Temperatures will remain in the 60s. For the rest of the week, that next weather maker won't arrive till Tuesday. Sunshine just around the corner with drier conditions, 60-degree weather. And Roseburg, those out in Roseburg had plenty of sunshine last week. Temperatures in the 80s, now managing to drop back down into the 60s. Umpqua Valley have chances of thunderstorms as well. Light showers for Monday. Tuesday, you probably won't get much rainfall, looking very overcast and cloudy. It's not until Thursday where drier conditions are just around the corner. Alexis?
Thank you so much, Heather. And next in sports, college summer baseball underway in Texas. What started as a good weekend ends with some bad news for a current Beaver. Details after the break.
KVAL Sports Desk, sponsored by Toyota.
As we wrap up the first week of June, more and more sporting events are slowly starting to resume across the country. Today is the final day of the Collegiate Summer Baseball Invitational in Central Texas. The tournament started great for Oregon State outfielder Wade Meckler, a walk-off single in the 9th in Game 2 Thursday, but last night was not the news you like to see. According to Kendall Rogers of D1 Baseball, Meckler was injured in last night's game when his leg caught around second base. Rogers tweeted that Meckler hit the turf with his fist a few times before being helped off the field. No word yet on the severity of the injury. The Yorba Linda, California native played in 20 games for Oregon State in 2019, but did not play in the shortened 2020 season. As a second weekend of protests are underway across the country following the killing of George Floyd in Minnesota, players and coaches across the sports landscape are speaking up in their efforts to promote equality. One of today's messages came from a coach that's never been afraid to speak his mind. Greg Popovich of the San Antonio Spurs.
It's easy for people to let things go because it doesn't involve them. It's like the neighborhood where you know there's a dangerous corner and you know that something's going to happen someday and nobody does anything. And then a young kid gets killed and the stop sign goes up. Well, without getting too political, we got a lot of stop signs that need to go up quickly because our country is in trouble.
The first top-level sports league to return from the COVID-19 outbreak was the Bundesliga, the top level of German soccer. For the fourth consecutive weekend, teams in Germany played in front of empty stadiums. And this weekend, players displaying messages of support for the Black Lives Matter movement. Members of Bayern Munich came out to warm up before Saturday's game wearing t-shirts and armbands advocating for the cause. The shirts had the team's nickname saying Reds Against Racism written on them in German, with Black Lives Matter written in English underneath. That'll do it for sports. Reporting from home, I'm Hayden Herrera. Now let's send it back to the studio.
Thank you so much, Hayden. Now today was a good day to celebrate as it marks America's favorite and healthiest hobby. This is National Gardening Exercise Day. It is well known that gardening can be therapeutic and stress-reducing. Gardeners, say it is good for the mind, body, and the soul. Oh, most certainly. My grandmother definitely gardens, and she's just great. So she's great in all of those aspects. So thank you for watching.